Okay, hello. Welcome to day 122 or 123. I have my breakfast here. It's currently like 3 something probably. Um, and it's a big breakfast. And I think after this, I'm gonna have a bowl of cereal because I want to have all my carbs like in my system now before I go to the gym, so that I can have a good workout, because I feel like my workouts have been pretty lackluster recently, and I feel like it's partly because of the no pre-workout, but it's also partly because I end up like not eating enough carbs before. But I was 172.4 this morning, and yeah, that's all there is to that. So here's the bowl of cereal or whatever I eat after this. And here's the macros for this meal. And here is my 5 eggs, 84 grams of egg whites, my turkey bacon. And then these biscuits are kind of smaller, but there they are. And yeah, that's breakfast, which is looking very delicious. This is like 1,200 calories, and then the cereal should be like maybe like 1,000. So I should be at like 2,000 something. I kind of want to make it so that before I leave to the gym, or like when I come back from the gym, I'll have enough calories for like a yogurt bowl, because I have to be asleep early because I work tomorrow at 7. So yeah, that's the goal for today. But yeah, that's it for now. So I will see you when I am reading, because I want to do that before I go to the gym too. I don't want to come home and have to do that, especially because today's chapters are pretty long. So goodbye. Okay, hello, welcome to my reading for today. Oh my gosh. Today I read Samuel chapters 14 and 15. And these were 2 of the longest chapters that I've read in a while, but they were actually very interesting. And in summary, it's basically just Samuel's downfall, basically. And it's kind of how his son not takes his place, but like basically takes his place almost, like temporarily. So it says here, 1 Samuel chapter 14 details a pivotal moment where King Saul's spiritual failure contrasts sharply with his son, Jonathan's faith-driven courage, leading to a significant yet ultimately limited victory over the Philistines through Jonathan's bold, unauthorized attack and God's intervention. So basically, Jonathan, who is Saul's son, so if you remember from last chapter, like, the Israelites are kind of just like hiding from the Philistines right now. They only have like less than 1,000 men because they were like disarmed by the Philistines. And so Jonathan said to his armor bearer, "Come, let us go over to that outpost of the uncircumcised, so of the Philistines. Perhaps the Lord will help us, because it is no more difficult for the Lord to grant victory by means of a few than it is by means of many." So he's basically saying like there's no change in difficulty for the Lord to give victory to like 3 men compared to 300. Like it's the same. Like it's nothing to him basically. And so the armor bearer is like, "All right, let's do whatever you want." And then Jonathan says, "When we cross over to those men, we will be visible to them. And if they say, 'Stay there until we go to you,' then we'll stop where we are and we will not go up to them. But if they say, 'Come to us,' then we will go, because the Lord has delivered them into our hands. That will be our sign." So when they go to the Philistines and like make their presence known, if the Philistines say, "Come to us," then that's like their cue to know that they're going to get destroyed. Like they're going to destroy the Philistines. But if if the Philistines tell them, "Stay there and we'll go to you," then the Israelites are cooked. Or Jonathan is cooked, I should say, because it's just him and his armor bearer. And when they show up, the Philistines say, "Come up here and we will teach you a lesson." So basically, Jonathan says to his armor bearer, "Climb up after me, for the Lord has delivered them into the hands of Israel." And so then him and his armor bearer kill, it says, 20 men with half a furlong. I don't know what that is. But basically, after that happens, like all of the Philistines, or like a good amount of them, basically go into like a panic. And yeah, then like Saul hears this, and oh, it's like a unit of measurement, I guess. Oh, within half a furlong. So they kill 20 men in like a certain area. And then basically Saul hears this, and he's like, okay, like count our men. And then they find out that Jonathan and the armor bearer are missing. And then they basically rally together. And then it says that the Philistines were so confused that they were thrusting swords at one another. So the Philistines were like killing each other, basically. And then basically it says, thus the Lord saved Israel that day. So yeah, and then it says Saul's oath. So Saul basically makes an oath saying, cursed be the one who takes food before evening, before I'm able to avenge myself on my enemies. So none of the people tasted food. So he basically banned all of like the soldiers from eating food. But his son Jonathan didn't like hear of this. And so it also talks about this honeycomb that was flowing with honey, but none of the soldiers touched it because they feared the oath. But then Jonathan, goes, he dips the end of his staff in the honey, and then he raises it to his mouth, and it says his eyes brightened. And so then his soldiers are like, "Oh, like your dad put like everyone under oath, like a strict ban on eating stuff." And then Jonathan replied, "My father brings trouble to the land. Look how bright my eyes are because I had this little taste of honey. What is more, if the army had eaten freely of the enemy's plunder when they came across it today, surely the slaughter of the Philistines would have been greater by now." So he's basically like, my dad is foolish and I'm not going to listen to him. And so after the soldiers hear this, they start like consuming like the plunder, so like all the animals and stuff. But it says that they were eating like the meat with the blood, which is banned. And then basically Saul hears of this and he's like, no, don't do this. It says, you have broken faith, roll a large stone here for me. And then he basically tells the people to wait there. And then once he builds an altar, they like properly sacrifice the animals so that there's no blood in them. And then they basically just like consume and take possession of what they got from the Philistines. And then let me see if it says it here. Basically, then Saul hears that Jonathan broke the oath and like ate, like when he said no one should be eating. And like right before he's like once Saul finds out that it was Jonathan, Saul said to Jonathan, tell me what you have done. And then it says, Jonathan replied, I only tasted a little honey from the end of the staff I was holding. Am I to die for this? And Saul declared, may God do thus to me and more if you do not indeed die, Jonathan. So Saul's ready to like kill his own son. But then the soldiers go to Saul and they say, is Jonathan to die, the man who won this great victory of Israel? This must not be. As the Lord lives, not a single hair of his head shall fall to the ground, for God was with him in what he did today. Thus the soldiers rescued Jonathan, and he did not die. And so, yeah, then the last two parts of this chapter are Saul's victory and Saul's family. And Saul's family literally just names like all his family. And yeah, basically it says that all of Saul's life, like he was waging war against the Philistines, sorry. And it also talks about like the other enemies that he waged war on. But that is all of chapter 14. So basically Jonathan clutches up for Israel and is the reason that Israel is saved. And then chapter 15 is titled The Disobedience of Saul. And it says 1 Samuel chapter 15 details God's rejection of King Saul for his disobedience in the war against the Amalekites, highlighting that partial obedience, sparing King Agag and the best livestock. So basically the Lord instructs King Saul to go and like absolutely annihilate the Amalekites. And he basically doesn't. Like he says to just like absolutely destroy everything. And Saul doesn't listen, and he spares like the best of like the animals that they have, and I guess he doesn't kill like their king. Oh yeah, it says he took Agag, king of Amalek, alive, but the rest of the people he destroyed by the sword, putting them under the ban. He and his troops spared Agag and the best of the fat sheep and oxen and the lambs. They refused to put under the ban anything that was worthwhile, destroying only what was worthless and of no account. So he didn't listen to the Lord, essentially. And Samuel hears of this, and he's basically super mad, and he basically tells, like, Saul tries like defending himself, saying that like he only took the best to like sacrifice to the Lord. But then Samuel, it says here, famously declares that to obey is better than sacrifice. So like obedience is more important than any sacrifice that they could have made with like these things that they spared. And it says this chapter reveals Saul's growing pride, fear of man, and reliance on self-will over God's direct command, leading to God withdrawing his favor and tearing the kingdom from him, foreshadowing David's rise as a true king. So yeah, my gosh, excuse me. I feel like I don't really hear of King Saul. King David is definitely like the name that you think of, I feel like, when you think of a king in the Bible. But yeah, that is my reading for today. It is 6:08, so I'll probably work on like one video before I leave to the gym because I still don't have a car to go. But yeah, two very interesting chapters, I will say. And I don't know what's gonna happen next, so I guess we will see in the days to come. But yeah, that's that. So I will see y'all when I am eating dinner. Goodbye. Okay, hello. Welcome to dinner, which is a yogurt bowl, like I said it would be. And I'm also gonna eat the last 2 sugar cookies that are left to get rid of them and to hit my macros, which we should be like slightly above. But I do have to be up at like 4:55 to make breakfast for tomorrow, and then go to work at 7. So I'm gonna be very tired. But yeah, that's just, I only work 3 days, so I should be fine. But what else? Also, I didn't stretch today because I don't think I'm gonna be stretching every day, just because I don't feel like I've made any progress on my flexibility, and I think that's because I'm doing it every day, or like, I don't know, I need to like look into it more. But I think I'm only gonna start stretching on leg days, so like twice a week, or like maybe 3 times a week. So like maybe like today would be a day that I would stretch, next week or the following week, because next week is my deload week. But yeah, so I just like warm up my shoulders and stuff on like upper body days. But yeah, other than that, I hit push and I hit cardio. But it's like about to be 12, so I'm definitely gonna be very tired tomorrow. I don't know if I already said that. I probably did. But yeah, I think that's it for now. So here's the macros for my dinner, and here is the dinner, which is a yogurt bowl, and then the peanut butter, and then the cookies are like in that plastic box over there. But what else? There's nothing else. That is it. And I also did my reading already, so all that's left to show is the macros for the day. And yeah, that's it. So if you're watching this, thank you very much. And like if you want, comment if you want, and subscribe if you want. And I will see you tomorrow for day 124, I believe. Goodbye.